Hello, hello, everybody. It's good to see y'all. Thank you all for showing up. It means the world to me. And the fact that I come on and people are waiting for me makes me feel not just important, but really cared for. So I appreciate Max and Deb. Deb, I hope you get your car soon fixed, honey. I know what that feels like. Hey, Kaleidoscope of Crime. Max, Shauna, good to see you, honey. Sweet Talking Classic, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. You guys are freaking awesome. So a couple of housekeeping things before we start today. I'm still giving out sleeping bags. Well, I can't at the moment. My car's off the road for a bit, but I won't be recording me giving it out. I'll just tell you that I do. Yeah, just a thing. Hey, Lisa, good to see you. I knew you wouldn't be far after sweet talking. There's a couple of other things going on. Just a reminder in my chat, we do not talk derogatory about anybody in my stream, okay? I have a transgender child, so trans bashing or gay bashing or anything like that is not going to happen. So anyone doing that gets a ticket out of here, guys. I'm also talking to Burden of Proof. I'm seeing if perhaps 1 hour a week we may be able to get some breaking news from her. That would be really cool. And what else did I have? I can't remember because I forgot, which is quite usual of me. It's quite usual. You didn't do that? No. Max, you're always innocent. Okay, here I am. Yeah, Shauna, that's the way it should be. Absolutely. I don't think anyone in my chat done that whatsoever. So it's fine. So I'm also must say that I'm trying to think of how my channel is going to run, because today, as we're doing crime in the US, it's 11:30 a.m. in New Zealand time. So New Zealanders can't really get involved if they're working. And also a lot of the time they're not interested in crimes overseas. So I'm going to have to try and figure out how I can mold my channel to both sets of viewers, because Kiwi and US viewers are what pays my way. All right. Let's have a look at Louisiana, because we did spin the wheel a wee while ago and it landed here. So I'm going to tell you a little about Kaleidoscope. It was not in this chat. It just was happening in another chat, and I wasn't a fan of it. Hey, Autumn, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. So Louisiana is a state in the deep south and south central regions of the United States. It is the 20th smallest by area and the 25th most populous of the 50 US states. Louisiana is bordered by the state of Texas to the west, that way, Arkansas to the north, Mississippi to the east. Which way is that? It's that way. And Mexico to the south. A large part of its eastern boundary is demarcated by the Mississippi River. Louisiana is the only US state with political subdivisions termed parishes. Which I've always wondered about, which are equivalent to counties, making it one of the only 2 US states not subdivided into counties, and the other being Alaska and its boroughs. So that's interesting. The state's capital is Baton Rouge, and its largest city is New Orleans, with a population of roughly 383,000 people, which is actually about the same as the city I live in. So that's pretty cool. Some Louisiana urban environments have a multicultural, multilingual heritage, being so strongly influenced by a mixture of 18th century Louisiana French, Cajun Creole, Spanish, French Canadian, Acadian. I've never heard of Acadian. Don't know what that means. Dominican Creole, Native American, and West African cultures that they are considered to be exceptional in the US. That's all right. Oh, no, did Autumn get timed out accidentally? Oh, Autumn, I don't know how to get you back either. hopefully you'll be back soon, because I kaleidoscope, it's all right. I don't think you can undo. I'm so sorry. It's all right. She'll be back soon. It was an accident, right? It wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. All right. Based on national averages, Louisiana frequently ranks low among the US in terms of health, education, development, and high in measures of poverty. In 2018, Louisiana was ranked as the least healthy state in the country with high levels of drug-related deaths. It also has the highest homicide rate in the United States since at least the 1990s. So that doesn't sound great for Louisiana. And I had a huge effect on Louisiana, and I don't want to leave that out because it's quite important. So I might do that during the live. I don't know. Yeah, I've never been put in timeout, so I'm not sure. I don't know what I said to it to. You were trying to say hello. It happens. It happens. 300 seconds. She'll be back. She might be pissed or she might laugh at it. I guess we'll soon see. Okay, let's have a look where Louisiana is on the map. If I share this tab instead. And if we go into this red bit here, I'm hoping you guys, it looks a bit like a boot. And it stretches here right on the coast. Baton Rouge is here. I don't know if you can see me, and New Orleans is here. So let's start. I wanted to actually start with some statistics, and they're quite sobering. So if we have a look at this is missing people per 100K. As you see on the right here, Alaska has the most missing people. So according to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons, which is NamUs, which is funded by the US Department of Justice, more than 600,000 people go missing annually. Approximately 4,400 unidentified bodies are recovered each year. Nationwide, there are roughly 6.5 missing persons for every 100,000 people, so that's a lot. Luckily, the vast majority of missing persons cases are quickly resolved. For example, in 2021, 521,105 missing cases were reported. More than 4,000 were resolved within a year. I hope my screen's not jumping again because that pisses me off. Anywho, the number of missing person cases has steadily declined since 1997, where nearly 1 million people were reported missing. In the past few decades, communication has made it easier to keep in touch with and track persons, allowing missing persons reports to fall by over 40%. Still, more than 20,000 missing persons cases and 14,000 unidentified body cases remain open. Okay. Max is always going to say that I'm toasted, which is quite funny considering I don't drink. But behave, Max. Don't be naughty now. It says in absolute terms, California actually has the largest number of missing persons at 3,000. However, California's rate of missing persons is roughly average at 7.61 missing for every 100,000. The highest rate of missing persons by far is in sparsely populated Alaska. So I ain't going to Alaska. I don't even know if I'm coming to the States, but Alaska is not going to be one of them, that's for sure. The state with the lowest of missing persons is Massachusetts. Tiny Rhode Island has the smallest number of missing persons. And here, I'm hoping you can see, here are the 10 states with the most missing persons: California, Florida, Texas, Arizona, Washington, New York, Michigan, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. And it does go, I'll have the link in the description box below, of course, if you want to see where your state turns up. Alaska is beautiful. It's snowing there, Kaleidoscope. Oh, how nice. I don't like snow, but I like watching it, but I don't like the crap it leaves after. Alaska's for sure. And you're not in Alaska. You're in Canada, aren't you? I was wondering about that, Max. I didn't think New Zealand tipped the bottle. I absolutely don't, for sure. I've got my coffee and my energy drink and my vape, so I'm happy. Let's get into, by the way, just before we start, the replay crew, hello, guys. In the description box below is everything you need about this channel. It has ways to donate. It has ways to find our Facebook page. And we're actually, hi, Facebook people should be watching us. Ways to, yeah. So there's everything you need to know. All the sources are in there as well. Let's get started on this tab. This is charlieproject.org, and this is about John Michael Baham Jr., missing since 1990 from Oakdale, Louisiana. Endangered missing. He's a male, white, and he would be 54 now. So it's a while. He was 21 when he went missing. He was 5'8", 5'10" to 190 to 200 pounds. He was wearing a red and blue flannel shirt, a red undershirt, new blue jeans, cowboy boots, and a Western style belt with the name Mike on it. So he sounds like he was quite a cowboy. Associated vehicle, pickup truck, which is accounted for. He had dark brown hair, blue eyes. Bam goes by his middle name, Michael, or the nickname Mike. Most accounts refer to him as Michael. He is missing 3 teeth and has a removable bridge for them. Okay. I'm cool with snow once a year. Yeah, that's about the same as me, actually. Hope one, tap that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that stuff you have to do, pretty please. Oh, you did. Oh, yeah, I have to change it, and I don't know how. Yeah, Max, your mum's from family. I don't know why it says that, but I have to try and fix. Okay. So let's look into the details of this guy's disappearance. Mike was last seen in Oakdale, Louisiana. So let's go to maps and see whereabouts Oakdale is. I'll give you a look in a minute when I remember to share the screen. So here's the Oakdale suburb. And if I go back, it's up there somewhere. That didn't help really, did it? It's up there somewhere. Oh, dear. So he was last seen in 1990 in December, so only a couple of days before Christmas. Imagine his family. He was en route to meet a friend at a car wash in town. He stopped at the Bayou store, leaving it and driving away at 7:30 p.m. He never arrived at the car wash. I'm stuck you on another screen. Is that one better? So he never made it to the car wash, which was only a short distance away, and has never been heard from again. At 9:30 p.m., a witness saw his pickup truck near the Calcasieu River Bridge on Highway 10. The lights were on, and the witness saw them go out. Let me see if I can find the Calcasieu River Bridge. Let me see. I don't like it that my it's skipping, but I don't know how to stop it. Okay, give me a couple of minutes, guys, and I'll let you know what I'm doing. I'm trying to find the river bridge. Okay, if I quickly show you, fucking hell, share this tab. This is where, so we were out of Lafayette, I guess. All right. The lights were on in the car when it was found in the pickup truck, and then the witnesses saw them go out. So at 9:30 p.m., a witness saw his pickup truck near the bridge on Highway 10. The lights were on, and then the witness saw the lights go out. The next morning, Mike's father found his truck on a dirt road under the bridge. The keys were in the ignition in the on position. The battery was dead, and his coat and his shotgun were inside the truck. But there were no signs of a struggle or any other indication as to what had happened. A photo of Mike's truck is posted with this case summary, and he had also just cashed a paycheck, and he was carrying $1,500 in cash. He had been drinking at the night of his disappearance. I need $1,500 cash, I tell you that much. Get my car fixed so I can give out some sleeping bags, but I must quickly say that I'm not one to record myself giving things to homeless people. I don't need like people to see it, you know what I mean? In my heart, I'm giving, and that's enough for me. So kind of weird, I must admit. John's father found Oakdale resident Paul Kilgore and another man was sleeping in a car nearby when he found his son's truck. Police immediately questioned them, but both men denied having seen or heard anything. Kilgore moved to Michigan a short time later. In 1998, a jail inmate implicated him in John's murder. The inmate had been only 13 years old, though, at the time of Mike's disappearance, and said he went to the authorities because his conscience was bothering him. So we do, have some stuff going on here. Everyone does it their way. You have a heart of gold. Oh, thank you very much. Absolutely. It's something might be good for other people and understandable and not for others, but that's okay. So this guy led police to the Dead Man's Lake area where he said that Mike had been buried. Well, authorities excavated the site and found nothing. But based on the inmate's information in July that year, Kilgore was arrested in Michigan for first-degree murder and first-degree robbery in his case. Oh, you're back. Oh, that's so fun. I'm glad you find it funny. You've been trying to catch a live and you get timed out. It was an accident, so I'm glad you're laughing about it. Thank you for coming back in. A jury actually refused the case, found insufficient evidence to indict him, however, and he was released. John is a 1987 graduate of Oakdale High School and has a younger brother and sister. He was working his disappearance, but had come back to Louisiana to spend with his family. They stated he was not the kind of person who would have run away, particularly without his coat. It was only 17 degrees that night he disappeared. I don't know what that is in Kiwi temperatures, probably quite bloody cold, in fact. He also left nearly $4,000 behind in his bank account. Foul play is suspected in his case, which remains unsolved. Shauna says, glad you're back in the chat. That's okay, you're listening, I'm glad. Yeah, I've never been timed out before. I've been like banned, I think, from one place, but it was like an accident. I'm pretty sure, because then they gave me back. So I don't know. I don't know if this is streaming on Facebook. It's supposed to be. If it's not, I have no effing idea How does that sound? I'm just having a wee look now. But yeah, if it's not playing on Facebook, then I have no effing idea what I'm doing again. But that's all right. That's all right. Oh, no. It's there. It's there. Okay, I'm back. So let's take a look at this next article. Scary being timed out. Did they investigate the person he was meant to meet? I'm not going to sure, but I'm going to read this next article. You've been in Facebook jail 2 times. You're bad. What a rebel, Lisa. Okay, I'm going to show you this new tab, and we'll have a bit of a read. It's quite a good article. I can't highlight it for myself, but that's all. Right. Yeah, there is photos of them. Hopefully you can see them. Kaleidoscope. John Michael Baham Jr. was last seen around 8 p.m. on the 23rd of December 1990 in Oakdale, Louisiana. Investigators and family believe whatever his fate, it occurred between 7:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. that night. He was 21 years old at the time of his disappearance. Mike is a 1987 graduate of Oakdale High School and was working in Texas at the time of his disappearance. He'd only recently returned to Oakdale to spend Christmas holidays with his family. Circumstances of disappearance. Mike spent the early evening of that day riding around with his buddies. You can also see the pickup truck there. Drinking, and briefly met up with his younger brother Tommy at the Bayou store in Oakdale. From there, he was headed to meet a friend at a car wash just minutes away, but never arrived. On the 24th, day before Christmas 1990, friends found his abandoned truck under the river bridge. The keys were still in the ignition, driver's door open, and battery dead. Some sources say that the truck was running, and I've heard that, and then I've heard that it isn't running, so I don't even know, to be honest, whether it was or not. But that's odd. The friends contacted Mike's father, who took the truck home, believing he'd return later that day. But by the next morning, he still hadn't shown up, and his father reported him missing at 5 a.m. on Christmas Day. Authorities began a search of the area and where his truck was discovered on the next day using divers, horseback riders, and helicopters. So they definitely went looking for him. And only an hour and a half something could have happened to him between 7:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. It's a short window. And where the hell did he go? Yeah, already. It's not showing up. Oh, fuck. Awesome says, sitting here listening and reading, sometimes about my name, I think I've been timed out by accident before. Just sit and wait. Oh, God. I'm glad you came back. You got timed out once, didn't even know that could happen, so I was confused. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not a mod on anyone's channel, and I'm quite happy about that. I'm not a mod liking person. I'll do it for a hand for people, but yeah. Don't know what that was. Foul play. Yeah, definitely foul play. So, leading family and investigators to believe foul play. A reliable witness stated at 7:45 p.m. they observed Mike's truck parked under that bridge with its lights on. Then the lights probably went out. His keys were still in the ignition, driver's door open, and his coat laying on the seat. According to data, the temperature was 25 Fahrenheit at 9 p.m. the night before and steadily dropped. He'd just cashed his paycheck, and it's believed he was carrying the $1,500. There had been no activity on a savings account that held nearly $4,000 at the time of his disappearance. And if I had $4,000 on my account, I would be using it. I would be using it to get my car on the road. I'd be using it to help Deb get her car on the road, if we could. arrested. So during the course of the investigation, several suspects were questioned and given polygraph exams, which they all passed. And that's a good conversation to have at sometimes about polygraphs, whether you think they work or whether they don't work. We know they're not admissible on court. But yeah, they can be used as tools, I guess. But yeah, we won't even, I'm not even going to go there. Former Oakdale resident Paul Kilgore was arrested on the 7th of July 98 in Michigan and was charged with first-degree murder and first-degree robbery in connection with Mike's disappearance 8 years earlier. And what I find quite interesting is the shotgun that was left in the car. Only, I think, one article said it, though. But the arrest was based largely on statements made by inmate Joshua Sitting Down, who claimed to be a witness to the crime when he was just 13 years old. He reportedly led police to the Dead Man's Lake area where the body was buried. Authorities excavated the site but found no evidence to support his claim. Kilgore was extradited to Louisiana on the 15th of July 98 and promptly retained the services of a well-known criminal defense attorney, David Stone. He's so well-known that I don't actually know who he is. A grand jury was convened and found insufficient evidence to indict Mike's disappearance, so Kilgore was released. Sheriff Turner expressed his disappointment in their findings and in the district attorney, Doug Herbert, who believes he took the case before the grand jury before it was thoroughly investigated. Whew. That was a lot of words, wasn't it? You mod for way too many. Oh, you're a good mod. I really believe I would fail even if I was innocent just because of fear and nervousness. Yeah, that's what I would feel as well. I'd be like, oh, no, man, I'm not going to pass because of my anxiety. It's through the roof. And that worries me. Yeah, maybe Max, he might have known. So anyway, if anyone has any information, Alan Parish Sheriff's Office is working to locate him and bring justice. If you have any info about his disappearance, 337-639-4353, a 25K reward contributed by Oakdale residents. That's nice. And Mike's employer, which is also double nice. The Baham family requests tips be called to the law enforcement agency. So yeah, it doesn't really look good for this guy, unfortunately. Tammy Roberts, good to see you. You wouldn't pass it because of your anxiety? Yeah, I reckon. You've had 2 pass both and I lied in the first one. Oh my God, Lisa. So that that's more of my anxiety because, yeah, I reckon I would fail. That's scary. Yeah, and sad for the family. Absolutely. Once a family becomes, I just noticed you're on Facebook, Tammy. That's pretty cool. Once you become the parent of a missing child or murdered or anything like that, for the rest of your for the rest of your natural life, you're always going to be a parent who's missing a loved one or family member, and that sucks. I wouldn't pass one. No, Max, I don't reckon I would. No, not at all. Not at all. All right. Let's get on to our next case. Before I did, I wanted to show quickly this. So this, where I got a lot of information, it is a identifiler.lsu.edu. It's missing persons anyway, and I've got the link in the bottom. But yeah, really good database of missing persons. Kaleidoscope says, if we ever need to pass a polygraph, go to Lisa for advice. I know, right? Maybe the body was moved in that 8 years. Absolutely, that's possible. What kind of coffee do I drink? Just instant. Just instant. And it's black and it has no sugar or cream like you guys use. It has nothing like that. Just the black coffee. All right. I'm only going to do one child today. Energy drink. Not a sponsor, by the way. Okay. So this is Rondreiz Cortez Phillips, and I'm hoping that I'm saying it right. He's been missing since 2018, the 5th of April, from Lisbon, Louisiana. A little male black. He'd be 9 years old now. Gosh, 2018 just sounds like, a couple of years ago, but it's getting there, you know what I mean? He was 4 years old, 3 feet, 45 pounds. He was wearing a white shirt, blue jeans, and yellow and black rubber boots. He is African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, and his nickname is Junior. So I'm going to refer to him as Junior for the rest of the stream. And he is a little cutie for sure. 5 years, Max says. It says 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I don't know. Okay, let's look at the details of his disappearance. This young Junior was last seen playing of his Howard Road in Lisbon. Should we look for Howard Road? I'm not very good at looking for stuff on here on the map, but let's look. Howard Road. Howard Road in Louisiana. Oh, I think I've got it. Hang on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Okay, so not that it really helps us, right? But here is where Howard Road is. Let's get a closer look. So it's quite sparsely populated, sparingly populated, not very populated. That sounds better, doesn't it? Yeah, so not heavily populated. So he was seen there at 11:30 a.m. on April the 5th. His mother was inside the house and her boyfriend was working on his truck nearby. The next time the adults checked on Junior, he was gone. They initially thought he might be over at his aunt's house, but when they got in touch with the aunt, he wasn't there. Gilbert began looking for Junior, and when they couldn't find him, they called 911, and he has never been heard from again. And I guess, I mean, it sounds like he was abducted. Really? I did. 2 cups of coffee for you. It's pretty rural. That's a good word. I should have used that word, and that would have been much better. Hi, 6 cents, Amelia, kia ora. Good afternoon, TJ and Fred. Good to see you all. I hope you're all doing well. Cooking lunch, listening alone. Listening. Great. Oh, glad to have you back, Deb. Missed you, baby. Phillips and Gilbert, the parents, were both arrested on a separate, unrelated charge after Junior's disappearance for drug possession and him for scrap metal theft. They both maintain their innocence in his case, and Gilbert, which is the stepdad, Nicholas, stated he passed a polygraph. He and Phillips are now separated. I don't know how I feel about people just coming out and saying, oh, I passed one, but there's no evidence to back that up. And I prefer to hear it from the police whether people passed or not. The thing is, I know the police lie about that. I have seen that before. But to just go ahead and announce that you passed a polygraph test, yeah, I don't know. Although the stepdad stated he thinks Junior was kidnapped by someone and is still alive, authorities stated Junior is missing under unclear circumstances. An extended search of the area turned up no indication of his whereabouts, and his case remains unsolved. So, doesn't sound good at all. It doesn't. This photo, bottom right photo here, is an age progression 1 to age 7. What he might look like now. How are you calling a kid? Suspect, yeah, it does. Sounds suspect. Pass or fail, it doesn't really prove anything. Well, this is the thing. It can be just, you can actually get fake polygraph tests online, which is crazy. You can pay a little bit of money. I know Letitia Stark is on trial at the moment for killing her stepson, Gannon, and that was, yeah. Polygraphs aren't admissible in court. Absolutely. I think we should give New Zealand a polygraph test to see what's in her coffee. Oh, you crack me up. You crack me up. All right, let's read this. We've finished that one. Let's not read that. Let's read the next one, shall we? You make me think I'm like half drunk, Max, when I'm not even drinking. Okay, so this one here is the newstar.com. The Louisiana State Police have issued a level 2 endangered missing child media advisory on behalf of the Claiborne Parish Sheriff's Office for a child reported missing Thursday, April 5th. The child, Junior, is a 4-year-old black male with black hair, brown eyes, approximately 3 foot tall and only 45 pounds because he was just a baby. He was last seen approximately 11:30 a.m. in the 100 block of Howard Road, wearing a white T-shirt, blue jeans, and black and yellow rubber boots. Those black and yellow rubber boots sound like they'd actually stand out. I'm wondering if like they were gum boots or something like that. And there's some information if you should know anything about him, which I put in the description box below with all the other stuff. Love you guys for following me. I must say, it makes me feel really special. So thank you guys for tuning up. Let's look at lnews.com. Tuesday marked 4 years since 4-year-old Junior disappeared without a trace from his home in Claiborne Parish. It said Kaleidoscope that his mum was inside and that the father was working on his truck quite close. And Junior had been playing out in the front yard. And then when they both went to sort of check on him, find out where he wasn't there. So, yeah. His family called 911 around 11:30 a.m., telling officers that Junior was last seen playing outside in front of their home. His mother, Sheila, was inside, and her boyfriend, Gilbert, was working on his truck nearby, which I just said. They told police they thought Junior was at his aunt's house next door, but they went to check. He was not there, and he has not been seen since. Law enforcement and volunteers searched for days. Police joined the investigation and later the FBI. So that's really good that they had the FBI coming in to help. Junior's stepfather took a lie detector test within days of Junior's disappearance, so he would not be looked at as a suspect. I took a lie detector test. I volunteered to do it because all these different folks trying to point the finger, he said at the time. Shortly after Junior's disappearance, his aunt she actually showed a makeshift memorial they made outside where he left his toys. That's disgusting. That's really, really sad. Why is that playing? Why is that playing? You're never going to tell me the nickname. Kia ora, everybody. Kia ora. FBI are corrupt. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past it, to be honest. But I'm not American, so I'm not going to say that. The mum said, I just want to see the baby. Is he right or what? Someone has to know where he is. If he was missing around here, somebody would have seen something. The story soon became complicated for Junior's family. His mum was arrested on drug charges 1 month later. She originally pled not guilty and was out of jail for the 1-year anniversary of his disappearance. I'm glad she got out for that because that's really nice and really important. I want to let him know I never gave up on him, that I miss him, I love him, she said at a balloon release in his memory. It took a toll on the family. I bet it did. Absolutely. Barely sleeping, barely eating. You can think, right, it's not a normal life, Junior's sister said after a court appearance for her mother in 2019. She asked for someone to come forward with information. The Claiborne Parish Sheriff's Office joined volunteers from the community to search countless hours for Junior, and this one said a $10,000 reward for new information. The last one said $25,000. This one says 10. I don't know. Hopefully it's something. Hopefully money makes people come forward. Although in some really big cases that I follow and stuff, rewards have been set and it hasn't, like big ones, but it hasn't made people come forward, which is sad. The National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children created and released an age progression photo in 2021 of what Junior would look like at age 7. He would have turned 8 November 21, so he'll be like 9, 10 now. People from his community continue to hold hope his case will be solved. He will not be forgotten, that somebody somewhere will give some information, and for the community to know that it's still hope that Junior will be found. Do you think that someone abducted this boy? I think it's quite plain that someone abducted this boy. He could still be alive. What do you guys think? It's very, very sad. So sad how many kids go missing. Absolutely. I think any who hurts a baby should be put to death. Yeah, well, that's a whole nother conversation for another day, isn't it? Like the death penalty, that's a big conversation. Probably, yeah, I of course we hope so, but we don't know. So I'm just going to read this one from people.com. This was April 2021. Search for LA boy who vanished in 2018. It's very active, say police. He is not forgotten, which is pretty cool. On April 5th, 2018, we're honestly regurgitating information because that's all we've got. Law enforcement sprang into action, but more than 2 years later, the boy remains missing. There was a very quick and overwhelming response, Detective J. Perry tells People. There were a lot of volunteers, fire, district, and personnel. They utilized aircraft, tracking dogs from the prison, did all kinds of things in a quick response, interviewed a lot of people, followed up on a lot of leads. It's really sad that they got onto this really, really quickly, and they were still unable to find him. But the bottom line is, during that investigation, nothing definitive was learned about what happened to him at all. Junior had been playing in a yard when he seemed to just vanish. At first, his mother thought he'd gone to his relative's house, but when he couldn't be located there or anywhere else, authorities were given a description, and it sounds like they've had a good response from the cops anyway. A lot of people have called in with information, but unfortunately, a lot of that has not been able to be corroborated. The investigation remains active. We've executed at least 3 search warrants, one less than a month ago, as we were following up leads and information that we've received concerning this case. So it's really good that people are calling in tips and that the law enforcement is listening and checking those out. There are potential suspects, but none of them have been charged, he says. Who was last near the boy? What happened? But again, we don't really have a suspect because we really don't know what happened. We're committed to working on this until we find him. Perry says he deserves that. He is not forgotten. FBI spokesperson Alicia something says in a statement to People, someone somewhere knows something about his disappearance. And then again, the numbers to call: police 318-927-2011 or the FBI 504-816-3000 with information. Yeah, very, very sad. Probably you hope. Yeah, we all hope. Sixth Sense says, in my opinion, rewards would be better spent on private investigators most of the time. Absolutely. You know, I kind of agree with that because I know that a lot of families go and get GoFundMe pages, and they ask for donations to handle or to get a private investigator. So yeah, probably, hopefully, who did have treated him well. Yeah, I hope so. You agree, but unfortunately, some people are money motivated. Absolutely. Sixth Sense Amelia says a member of the public found an escaped prisoner and prison guard, but I think he got ripped off for the reward. Police wanted to take credit. People are dubious who actually gets the reward in the end. That doesn't make it okay, does it? That sounds awful. 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 Got to vote. I'm loving looking at the mostly blue and green stream. That's awesome. I've got to thank Max and Deb for that. That's great. Okay, I'm going to just read a little bit about Hurricane Katrina because I feel like I can't go past doing a live about Louisiana and not mentioning Hurricane Katrina. So I don't know if you know much about it, but we'll have a look. All right, let's have a look at this. As the center of Hurricane Katrina passed southeast of New Orleans on August 29th, 2005, winds downtown were in Category 1 range with frequent intense gusts. The storm surge caused approximately 23 breaches in the drainage canal and navigational canal levees and flood walls. As mandated in the Flood Control Act of 1965, responsibility for the design and construction of the city's levees belongs to the United States Army Corps of Engineers, and responsibility for their maintenance belongs to the Orleans Levee Board. The failures of levees and flood walls during Katrina are considered by experts to be the worst engineering disaster in the history of the United States. So that's definitely saying something. Where was I? By August 31st, 80% of New Orleans was flooded. 80% is a lot. With some parts under 15 feet of water, which is like 4.6 meters of water. The famous French Quarter and Garden District escaped flooding because those major breaches, including 17th Street Canal Levee, the Industrial Canal Levee, and the London Avenue Canal flood wall. Shit. I hope you guys can understand me. Oh, dear. Oh, I wonder what's in my coffee. Max, like, he came like a fairy and dropped like something in my coffee. These breaches caused the majority of the flooding, according to a June 2007 report by the American Society of Civil Engineers. The flood disaster halted oil production and refining, which increased oil prices worldwide. Between 80 and 90% of residents in New Orleans were evacuated before the hurricane struck, testifying to some of the success of the evacuation measures. Despite this, many remained in the city, mainly those who did not have access to personal vehicles or who were isolated from the dissemination of news from the local governments. The Louisiana Superdome was used to house and support some of those who were unable to evacuate. Television shots frequently focused on the Superdome as a symbol of the flooding occurring in New Orleans. I just wanted to read a little bit out here. This is the direct effects. Hurricane Katrina made its second and third landfalls in the Gulf Coast of the region on Monday, August 29th, 2005, as a Category 3 hurricane. New Orleans was experiencing widespread flooding due to breaches. People were out of power. Entire neighborhoods on the South Lake were flooded. The extensive flooding stranded many residents who were forced to stay in place. Those stranded survivors dotted the tops of houses. Some were trapped inside attics and unable to escape. Many people chopped their way on. The mayor urged residents to store in their attics in case such events. Clean water was unavailable and power outages last for weeks. By 11 p.m. August 29th, Mayor described the loss of life as significant, with reports of bodies floating on the water throughout the city, mainly in the eastern portions. Some hotels and hospitals reported diesel fuel shortages. The National Guard began setting up temporary morgues in select locations to accommodate the bodies. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Deb, sweetie, I hope I can see you on here, but you know where you can reach me. Yeah, Deb, love having you here. Thanks for your support, and everyone else. I'll be here when you can. She's drunk, I give up. Be right back. I'm not drunk. Stop it. Do you know, I was actually, I was watching somebody online the other day, and they were playing this really cool game. It's quite similar to what we play. And you can get it in the stream, and you guys, like, you don't have to rely on me to put in the answers. You guys can do it in the chat, and it works. I'm having technical difficulties trying to set that up, but I'm going to give it a shot at some stage so we can do a games night and do that, because and there's a couple of other games as well, but yeah, I think that will be really fun. So like, I've got to try and figure out games nights for the US people, for like you guys, and game nights for people in New Zealand as well. So it's, yeah, there's a lot of having to think. Do you enjoy trivia, Max? Do you enjoy trivia rather than the game? I mean, I got trivia and the game, which we could do. It's never going to be strip poker. You can play strip poker by yourself, but I'm not going to be involved, and I don't think anyone else is going to be involved either. Sorry. You'll be doing it by yourself. And we don't want picks. Yeah, I must say too, if anyone wants to come on stream with me and talk about cases after this last one I'm going to talk about, you're more than willing to come up if you want to. Deb says no, she's not going to do it. That's okay. You can stay in the chat, my lovely. I don't mind at all. Okay, so we're going to do the last case, because this is a bit of odd one. Yeah, Max, keep it clean, please. Keep it clean. So this is Nelda Louise Hardwick. She has been missing since 1993 from Lake Charles, Louisiana. She's a white female. She would be 64 now because she was born in 1959. She went missing at 34 years, 5'3", 110 pounds, blue jeans and sandals. She has got dark brown hair, hazel eyes. Nelda has a complete set of dentures. Her left leg is shorter than her right one, and she limps badly as a result. She may use the alias last names Bailey or Fruge. She has numerous surgical scars on her head and body. So sounds like she's been through a tough time. And let's read a little bit more about her strange case. co.blogspot.com. She says, or whoever does this says, in previous posts, I've covered several cases of what you might call anomalous reappearances. That is to say, people who disappear and then turn up. That's not happening yet. 34-year-old Nelda lived in Lake Charles, Louisiana, with her four children, and a boyfriend. On the night of October 14, 1993, she put the kids to bed and left a note for her sleeping boyfriend stating that she was going to the store and would be back soon. It is unclear if she actually made it to the store. Why the frick is that? I am shit. I forgot to move it over again. Oh my God, people, I'm sorry. So it is unclear if she ever made it to the store or not. All that can be said is that she never returned. The following morning, the boyfriend told the police she was missing. It was immediately assumed that this was a case of foul play. She was a loving, conscientious mum who would never abandon her children, and she appears to have taken very little with her. Unfortunately, the investigation essentially stalled right there. She was gone, most likely abducted. There were no suspects, no clues as to what might have happened to her. We've got to be careful, Max, when we're saying those things, because whenever there's a case like this, of course, people and the police look straight to a partner or an ex-partner. But I think we have to be very careful of it's innocent till proven guilty, right? And I like facts. So without facts that the boyfriend's guilty, I'm not going to. But that's usually where cops go looking, Their thing stood until May 8th, 1998, when a truck driver discovered a woman's corpse near an exit on the interstate highway in Mississippi, about 250 miles from where Nelda had vanished. The woman had died after being hit by a car. This hit and run was solved when some teenagers came forward after hearing the story on the news. They explained that in the middle of the night, their car had hit something in the area where the body was found. Assuming that it was just a deer or some other wandering large animal, they didn't stop to investigate. So, you guys, if you're living rural and you sometimes have livestock that come on and get on the road. Oh my God, I dropped my mouse. If you hit something, would you just assume it was a deer or other animal? I know in Alaska they have like other animals that we don't. Max says that's my opinion, but 90% of the time. Yeah, I get you, but I'm just a bit careful. Max, Deb, I think Bear must be chasing a tornado, not here. Yeah. Oh, is he live now? Why did he do that? He could have waited till he finished. Silly. I guess I can wrap up soon if people want to go there. But we'll finish the story, right? The Jane Doe was probably between 37 and 42 years old. She had no teeth and no dentures were found near the body. She was between 5'3" and 5'5" and 135 pounds. She had grey eyes and her naturally brown hair had been dyed. No name was attached to the corpse until 2013, when Jim Falk, the coroner who had autopsied the woman, announced that he believed that she was missing woman Nelda Hardwick. Her family, after of the corpse's relatively undamaged face, this was their vanished relative. So this is very interesting. Hey, Phoebe, kia ora. No, now it doesn't sound like the boyfriend was a suspect, right? As for where Nelda, if it was her, had been all these years, Falk offered the grim theory that she had been held captive and then finally escaped only to be immediately killed by a passing car. On the other hand, Nelda had scars below each knee and, as far as her relatives knew, had never had an appendectomy. The Jane Doe had no scars below her knees and her appendix had been removed. So this is a bit weird because some of this stuff is not actually matching up to her, but the relatives are still saying, no, that looks like her. That looks like her. So that's really interesting. Shauna, I had to choose between burden of proof, beer, and New Zealand. Oh, I'm so sorry. I tell you what, me and burden of proof are trying to talk at the moment. We're trying to see if we can get her over to do a show once a week, me and her on panel, with her talking about some cases that are out. Yeah. So we're finishing this soon, but we can finish earlier if we need to. You're still with New Zealand. Thanks, Mix. Even if it turns out to be just you and Deb or something, I'm happy. All right. There was another theory about the Jane Doe. Some believed she was really a woman named Faye Alina South, who had vanished from Red River Parish, Louisiana in 1983. However, in 2006, a serial killer named Robert Brown, who had lived in South's apartment building, confessed her and dumping her body in a river. So you choose to be here. Burden had a car chase. Oh, wow. Thank you, Shauna. I appreciate you being here. All of you is Phoebe, Kaleidoscope. That's great. Thank you so much. What I'm doing also is I don't know how to use Discord much, but I'm trying to give something to members for being members, you know. So I'm trying to maybe figure out how we can have a Discord just for members and mods. So I will let you know on my community post when I figure that out. All right. It was resolved that the only way to conclusively establish Jane Doe's identity would be to exhume her for DNA testing. However, listen to this last bit. When her grave was opened, they found instead the body of a John Doe. So somehow a John Doe was put in this coffin when it's supposed to be Nelda, who got hit by a car. To date, the corpse of Jane Doe remains as mysteriously lost as Nelda and Faye Alina South. Oh, you bought a membership, it's not showing? I can't tell you why, honey. I don't know. Why isn't it showing? Why aren't you showing? Thank you so much, though. I appreciate that. And yeah, well, yeah, you can call me TJ. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Yeah, maybe we have to look into it. So thank you so much, Autumn, for becoming a member. That's awesome. YouTube can be weird. That can be weird on a good day. Absolutely. Okay, just before we get into chatting, I want to show you, of course, the wheel of next time. The wheel of crime. Let's give it a whirl and see what it lands on. I don't know how to get my Kiwi with being right in the middle. North Dakota. North Dakota. This will be interesting. I know nothing about North Dakota at all. So that will be interesting. If you know any cases in North Dakota, that you'd like me to cover, just let me know. I appreciate that, Autumn, so much that you bought a membership. Thank you so much. Hey, Kel. Oh, that's an interesting. Hi, Autumn. You got an email saying it went through? Awesome. Awesome. So that's all I've got as far as cases go today, guys. I don't think there's much else to talk about. I'm taking I have to stop. My car's not on the road. It needs to be licensed and stuff. But then I'll get back into giving out some sleeping bags because it's getting real cold here. Too bad not in Illinois, or I would take people to a strip club. Oh my God. You never stop, Max. I'm going to put you in the corner soon. Hey, Deb, honey, you can't find us live? I don't know. I don't even know. If I find it, I'll put it on the how are we going to find it? I'm going to go myself onto YouTube and see if we can find it, eh? Yeah, I'm online. Let's see. We need a dance cap for Max. I cannot see him. There's lots of chases on. Heaps of people are chasing tornadoes and shit. So there's a lot. But I can't see his one. What do you need to get your car back on the road? I need to make some money, Max. That's what I need. He is bad. He is naughty. But we allow him to be a little naughty. Sometimes we put him in the corner. But yeah, just be careful. Okay, so what has everyone got for the rest of the night? What is the time? Where are you at? Is this time good for you? Does this time work for you guys? And then I'm going to have to figure out, I mean, at the moment, it's only 12:30 in the afternoon, right? So this is not the best for Kiwis. So maybe I'd have to do really late ones for Kiwis or something like that. 6:30 p.m. dinner time. Deb can only put me in the corner. I'm pretty sure I can put you in the corner as well, Max. Just saying. 7:30. So 6:30, 7:30. Is this a good time though? It sucks because if I went earlier, I'd have to get up earlier, and I don't really like doing that. 8:39. Awesome. That's quite late. But says Shauna says 7:30. Phoebe fell asleep and just woke up. You'd have to go back and look what we've done. Talked about. Yep, Shauna says, Max says, yeah, awesome. Oh, that's awesome, guys. What I want you to do, Kaleidoscope, my schedule fluctuates, so it's hard to get a good time for me. Yeah, I understand that. Can you do a stream at 8 your time, Phoebe? And you said it was like 6. So you think that it should be a bit later? Up to 20 hours a day. I'm up 20 hours a day. Oh, you're crazy, Max. That's unreal. I have to get at least 8 to 10 hours sleep or I can't function. And doing these lives at 11:30 a.m. my time suits me. But I can do a little later. Maybe an hour later or something. Does that mean you get to have dinner and then we're going to do the games night as well? try and figure things out. So I'm going to end it, and I hoping, or some of you might like to go over to Burden of Proof, tell them that TJ sent you, give her like, and subscribe if you haven't. I will just try and get her link. Oh, awesome. So that's Burden of Crime's link. If you go over there, just say hello, give her a tell them TJ sent you. I will be in the next looking at cases from North Dakota. We'll be coming on and doing some trivia nights as well. So have a good time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help, guys. I really, really do. Be safe. Yeah, I always think about you and hope that you're doing okay. Thank you, Max. Thank you, guys.